Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about the live stream that Edwin did. In that live stream, he was discussing Shiloh and just venting out his emotions and his feelings. I will not put any clips of his live stream here. I am pretty sure I can find it, but there's a reason why he has privated that live stream. And he even says that in his live stream. When you're upset, when you're angry, when you're just venting out feelings, you can say some pretty dumb shit. And I don't think that Edwin's live stream should be examined and looked into closely and scrutinized, because he said it himself. He is not proud of that live stream because, he's just venting out his feelings there. There were a lot of things that happened in that live stream. First is he was showing more receipts from other people about how Shiloh was acting and behaving, and that was pretty bad. He also had on a person who claimed to be a psychologist, or I don't remember the exact label, but someone who works in the mental health field, and was explaining to Edwin Shiloh's response and why he shouldn't have made the videos that he did. And this ties into why mikenactor was getting a lot of hate. I mean, he was already getting a lot of hate because he was quote-unquote siding with Shiloh. I don't want to say that because that seems to imply that there's an us versus them mentality when it's really not. It's a shade of gray here, and that's what I want to talk about here. The psychologist, I'm just gonna call her the psychologist because I don't remember her title. The psychologist was talking about how Shiloh's response makes sense because of her PTSD and her CPTSD and the trauma that she went through and the abuse that she went through, and she is now alienating herself. And the videos that Edwin made, maybe he shouldn't have made those videos. That was her point. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible here. And in my opinion, I think that that was her position on this whole thing. That yes, what Shiloh did was wrong, and yes, it affected Edwin in a negative way. That he essentially had a breakdown on stream. It's clear that Edwin was hurt, and not just Edwin, but many people were hurt. And this point that I just explained to you, that what Shiloh did was wrong, this point, mikenactor agrees with. This point, that psychologist on Edwin's stream, who was essentially saying Edwin shouldn't have made that video, agrees with. Where I think we disagree is what actions should have been taken. I think that what Edwin did was the right thing here. And you may disagree, and that's okay. So the psychologist's point was the following. This is the psychologist's point of view, not mine, okay? That psychologist said that, hey, I understand that Shiloh's actions are wrong here. I understand that Shiloh's actions have hurt people and have hurt you, Edwin, but you really shouldn't have made those videos. Those videos are not going to be helpful to Shiloh. It's going to be potentially harmful. What I mean by that is she is on a downward spiral, and you're making a very public video on her at this point, and I don't think that you should have made that video. You really just should have tweeted about it and just left it at that, and shouldn't have made that video. That is the psychologist's point of view, and I respectfully disagree with that. And here's the reason why. When I made my first video on this topic about like a week ago, I was looking at this screenshot and saying, look, Shiloh is in a terrible place. Look, she is comparing this random person to Mini Onision. Onision is her abuser, and she is talking about her father like that, her dead father. She clearly isn't in the right headspace at this moment. That's what I said in my first video. But as more and more information came out, I saw that she was talking about being on suicide watch and threatening people with suicide. At first, I just saw it from RSN, Real Stream News. Fuck that guy. But that behavior was unsettling to me. But I thought, okay, twice. She did it twice, okay? She did it with Edwin as well. She talked about the tragedies in her life to this random person on the internet in like 22 messages about very intimate information, and her talking about being on suicide watch, being underweight and anorexic, her talking about this detailed personal information to random strangers. She didn't just talk about it once. She didn't just snap once. She didn't just snap twice. She didn't just snap 3 times, third time being with Edwin. She snapped multiple times. Many fucking times to random strangers on the internet. And because she had her phone and she was allowed to text, we know that she wasn't on suicide watch. So not only is she talking about this very personal information to random strangers on the internet, but she's also lying there, just casually. Not to one person, not to 2 people, not to 3 people, just continuously lying. And it shows to me that she has become comfortable with her behavior like that. Because she isn't just doing it once, she has done it multiple times. And at some point along the way, I believe that she should be called out for it. She should be. Seeing her continuously lying and being so comfortable with it that she could just do it to random strangers as if it's nothing says to me that she has gotten a lot comfortable with it, and she should be called out for it. At some point, I believe that she should be called out for it. And you might disagree with the way that Edwin did it. You might think, I guess Edwin should have made that video, but he really shouldn't have gone after Shiloh in the way that he did. And I think I agree with that. I mean, there are some points in his video that I completely disagree with, and I think that was in poor taste. Like, for instance, Edwin comparing Onision's tactics to Shiloh's tactics. I think that was in poor taste. I get that he was trying to say, hey, look, this manipulation tactics are from Onision, and this is what Onision also does. And yeah, I guess if you look at it objectively, her tactics and Onision tactics match up. But you're comparing someone to the abuser. If he had compared her to someone else, I guess that would be okay. But comparing her to her own abuser? Damn, that's in very poor taste, in my opinion. So yeah, that's why I disagree with the psychologist that was on Edwin's live stream. Mikenactor made a video on Edwin's live stream as well. Mikenactor has been getting a lot of hate from the anti-O community for quote-unquote siding with Shiloh. I don't like using that term because there is lots of shades of gray here, not just black and white, us versus them thing. It's not. And Mike actually agrees with the fact that Shiloh had snapped and Shiloh needs to take a break, and she shouldn't have done things that she did, and she shouldn't have been misusing her platform. So Mike actually agrees with a lot of that. Where he disagrees is the actions that should be taken. He doesn't disagree with the fact that Shiloh had snapped, but he disagrees about what Edwin should have done in that scenario. And the amount of hate that he has been getting is not at all proportional to what he actually did. But I guess that's the nature of the internet, to blow things out of proportion. That's the nature of Twitter, I guess. By the way, I still hope that Shiloh does take a social media break, She has clearly been through a lot of abuse in her life, and I really hope that she takes her mind off of this entire clusterfuck. But I don't know if she is taking a social media break. I mean, there were a lot of people who interpreted this tweet that she just put out like 2 hours ago as her stepping away from social media. She says, "I don't think that coming out publicly with my abuse was a very good idea in hindsight. I don't need to elaborate, nor do I need to defend myself any longer. The truth always comes out and the law can handle the rest. I appreciate everyone who supported the cause. Thank you." And there were a lot of people who interpreted this tweet as her stepping away from social media. I mean, she didn't really said that, She didn't said that in this tweet. I looked at her Twitter, Patient Zero and LYL Doll. She didn't said that. It's amazing, how she can tweet a certain thing and she can imply something without actually saying it. There were a lot of people who believed that this tweet was her stepping away from social media. But she didn't really said it now, did she? I hope that she does so. I mean, she has been taking steps away from social media, and I'm glad that she is doing that, but I hope that she really takes a step back from this whole clusterfuck because she really needs it. So yeah, these were my random thoughts on Edwin's live stream. Oh yeah, by the way, I know many of you aren't subscribed to Keemstar. He will be releasing his video on Onision. What am I saying? His interview on Onision tomorrow. So on 9th March. So be aware of that. Like this video if you liked it. Comment your thoughts down below about what you think about Edwin's live stream. If you were there, Subscribe for more videos. And yeah, I hope you have a good day.